Kimber Schaefer here. We're at Kickapoo Casino in Hara. We're talking Rage in the Cage 40, also known as our Slammin' and Jammin' Weekend at Kickapoo Casino in Hara. And we are so excited. We have a great fight card in store. It's going down September 26th for our Rage in the Cage MMA event. And then September 27th, the very next day, is on a Sunday, we're having Extreme Midget Wrestling. So it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have bands before and after all of the MMA fights and the midget wrestling event. So come on out and join us tonight. We're doing our pre-fight interviews, and I have one of our fighters on the MMA card, and this guy really needs no introduction. If you've followed Rage in the Cage, you definitely know Ken Coulter. You know, Ken, you got your start at Rage in the Cage, and we consider you here a part of the family, and we are so excited to welcome you back. And this time you're a pro fighter. You know, we followed your amateur career, so how does it feel? Is it a different feeling being a pro fighter now?
Not really, other than the fact that I get paid now. So it's not me just dishing out a lot of money to train. I can actually start to support my family and move around and do other things. So, I mean, it's a little bit different now, and it's, the stakes are way higher.
Ken, and I want to talk to you about your family and, you know, all the things. I want to talk to you about fighting as well because, you know, obviously that's important and that's why we're here. But, you know, I want people to get to know the fighters behind the sport of MMA. You are somebody that, you know, you have a family of your own, some small little ones, but you also give a lot back to the community. You are part of a team at Life Church that ministers to children and as well as troubled youth. So tell me a little bit about what you do there because, you know, it's very important for people like you, because so many of these fighters look up to you and so many of these young children look up to you. So tell me a little bit about what you do at Life Church.
Well, on a Sunday, it will start out at 8:30 in the morning, serving in the loop. That's just 5th graders and down. And then on Wednesday nights, it's 6th grade through 12th grade. And pretty much we just give back as much as possible to the community and try to get these guys to become fully devoted followers of Christ. And it's just something that we do. We're starting small, starting with the community, and I plan to branch out and get even bigger with my charity and everything else as we planned on doing. So I'll just keep praying and keep following and doing what I think God wants me to do.
You know, and I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Ken, but, you know, you've been doing this for a few months now. Has there been a scenario or a kid that has really touched your heart, somebody that you've felt that grow? And obviously, I don't want you to share names, but is there anything that really has stood out to you and made a difference and just kept you going? Because, you know, it's not easy giving up your time for something. So does anything stand out to you? You
know, no names given, but there's just some kids that want to be a part of something, you know, and me personally, I would rather it be a part of a church than a gang, you know, like there's too much of that going around. So for me, the kids that come in and just want, you know, I'll listen to their problems. I just want to listen to their story and let them know there are people to turn to and they're not alone, and just give people a place to come and learn more about Christ.
You know, and I know that's always been so important to you, is to be a positive role model, Ken. And, you know, you've been a positive role model at Rage in the Cage, and for Rage in the Cage, you've always participated in any of our fundraisers, some of the bigger fundraisers that we have, you know, the Denny family that you've supported at 2 events, and so many of the other ones. I mean, you are just a giver, and, I mean, that's just part of who you are.
Like I said, I don't want to be known as just a great fighter. I want to be known as a great person. At the end of the day, I'm not just a fighter. I'm much more than that. I can help out people and do a lot of things without anything coming back to me, and I think that's kind of what makes me me. I'm not looking for anything out of Life Church or the kids that's there besides giving them somewhere to turn to.
Well, and you know, let's talk back about fighting. Your ultimate goal as an amateur fighter was, of course, to end up with that 155 amateur title. We went through some ups and downs. You had some things happen that kind of kept you from going for that belt, not really in your control, but things happened with other fighters that were holding that belt. But you finally did it. Your last fight as an amateur, I mean, you capped off your amateur career with achieving your ultimate dream as an amateur fighter. How did that feel? Because I don't think I've talked to you since then. And what is your ultimate goal now as a pro fighter?
That feeling was great. I mean, for 2 reasons. One, he gave me my only loss. The other one, I got my belt back, and he was my only knockout victory. So I think I proved a lot with that, and now that we're back, we're dropping to 45, like I said, and I'm not going to play around with the weight class. I am going to run through it. I plan to be champion early next year with another belt.
You know, and like you mentioned, your one loss was to Jose Martinez, who is a phenomenal fighter, a great wrestler, and, you know, your first fight with him, I mean, you it was a rough. You went all 3 rounds, but, I mean, it was a tough one for you, but you came back and you proved that, you know, you had it in you to to become champion for Rage in the Cage. And so now we're looking at your pro career, and, you know, Ken, I know that so many people have really high hopes for you, and they really think that you're going to end up on a UFC card or something huge. So what are your feelings on that? Are you even thinking that far ahead yet?
I'm thinking about it, but like I said, I got work to do at home. You can't go somewhere else to take over if you can't take over your own backyard. So what I plan to do is start just like I did as an amateur and work my way up through the ranks as a pro, and I'm going to get another belt, and I'll be defending it at home as well as whatever organizations come to me. But like I said, Rage in the Cage is always home.
Well, and I love that. And we've always known that eventually you're going to branch out, and, you know, but the fact that you always call it home here, and that, you know, you're always going to have that open door. We just love you and appreciate you as a fighter. And we're so excited to see, you know, everything that you're doing flourish, and not just your fight career, but all of the things that you're giving back to. Now, let me ask you, at one point you talked about starting like a clothing line or your own MMA line. Is there anything going with that yet?
As far as that goes, these are it. These are what I'm pushing at the moment, which is my fight shirts. So until we start selling these in a volume that can actually produce the revenue I need to pick up something else, I think we'll just start with the shirts, maybe wristbands or something like that, or hats. But, you know, we got to crawl before we walk. So I just keep on praying and keep working hard, and hopefully that dream comes true.
All right. Well, I love that. You know, you just got to keep crawling before you can run, of course. Anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to mention about what's going on in your life right now, Ken?
Not really a whole lot going on. I just want to reach out and say hello to the home gym, AMA, everybody from there. You know we're finna bring home another belt. My sponsors, Interlink Diagnostic with Steve Hayes, and last but not least, Little Troopers and Ray Oliver. I mean, without these guys, I wouldn't be nowhere near here. So I just want to thank you guys, and they have blessed me to keep going, and I'm going to keep training hard, and I'm going to let my performance show it.
Well, I'm so excited to not only welcome you home to Rage in the Cage, but for you to be fighting on a Kickapoo Casino card, because I can tell you the folks here at Kickapoo Casino, they take such great care of the fighters and fans, and they really think about every single detail, and just to make sure that it's a great experience for you as well as the fans that are going to be here. So you can rest assured that all your family and friends and everybody that's going to be out there in the audience cheering you on are in good hands.
And I just appreciate Kickapoo Casino for the opportunity to come out and even put on a show. I appreciate you and Matt, he's behind the camera, but I appreciate everyone in their time for even coming out here. You know, without you guys, we wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have anything on YouTube. So just, I'm really blessed to have you guys, and I thank you for everything you do.
Well, awesome. And on that note, be sure, if you haven't checked out our Rage in the Cage OKC channel on the YouTube, check that out. We've got several videos of all these fighters in their pre-fight interviews with me, yours truly. We also have several of the fight videos. So if you're a fighter out there and you're wanting to research some of the fighters, that's what they do. We do it for, so that you guys can have a bit of information about the fighters. And also, we want to give these fighters an opportunity to practice the interview portion, because this is going to be something important in the future when you get on UFC cards. So thank you again, Ken. Is there any last words or any shout outs?
No, I think I already gave them to everyone, you know, but for sure, Kendrick Coleman, man, we're going to bring another one to the gym. So I thank you for everything, and I'll see you guys on the 26th.
All right, and we thank AMA for taking good care of our friend Ken Coulter. So thank you guys. Come on out September 26th and see this guy as well as some of the other fighters for Rage in the Cage 40. It's part of our Slammin' and Jammin' Weekend #2 at Kickapoo Casino in Hara. Then on Sunday, we've got some extreme midget wrestling's doors open at 3 o'clock for that, and fights begin at 5 p.m. You can get tickets from any of these fighters. You can get tickets at Ticketstorm.com, any Metro Party Galaxy location, or both of the Kickapoo Casino locations, either in Hara or Shawnee. You have no excuse. We want to see you. Come on out. You're having a great time. Thank you so much. Be there.